the end of the hall. I'll be walking beside you till the end of it all. She said, tell the ones you love them. Turn your minutes into moments. Don't be scared to give away your heart. But I'm still afraid of the dark, still scared of my shadow, still looking for monsters under my bed every night. Oh, I wish you were right there to fight out the nightmares. You were the night light, on a dark night like the stars. I'm still afraid of the dark. You were the night light, on a dark night like the stars. I'm still afraid of the dark, still scared of my shadow, still looking for monsters under my bed every night. Oh, I wish you were right there to fight out the nightmares. You were the night light, on a dark night like the stars. I'm still afraid of the dark. You were the night light, on a dark night like the stars. I'm still afraid of the dark.
You've got your reasons for letting me go. I'm making peace with the views that you hold, and I'll never judge you for what we went through. 'Cause a good part of me loves a good part of you. Catch and release, baby, you know where I'll be. 'Cause if the sky was falling down around your house, and the curtain's up and no one is around, if you ever feel alone, out of touch, I'd show up, I'd show up. And when the history books of us are said and done, but the night aches and you need someone, say the word, babe, you know that I'd run. I'd show up, I'd show up. Kitchen nights, country drives, how I'll never forget you. Imprinted when I met you. You're the 4th of July. Blacking out, waking up like the future is endless. Oh, and who would predict this? That you're out of my life. 'Cause if the sky was falling down around your house, and the curtain's up and no one's around, if you ever feel alone, out of touch, I'd show up, I'd show up. And when the history books of us are said and done, but the night aches and you need someone, say the word, babe, you know that I'd run. I'd show up, I'd show up for you. Broken, darling, I know that we're broken, and I don't know where you are going, but I'd show up for you. Broken, darling, I know that we're broken, but I will not leave this unspoken. I
So now you can't let the fear control your body. Like a great Canadian darkness, I will cover you. Nothing will harm us. I will protect you. So tell me what you need. You bring me to my knees, and I'm tired of running. I'm tired of moving life around. How do we deal with this? Treat each day as a gift it is. I don't wanna be running till I'm underground. So tell me what you need. You bring me to my knees, and I'm tired of running. I'm tired of moving life around. How do we deal with this? Treat each day as a gift it is. I don't wanna be running.
Good morning. Welcome to Friends Church. It's kind of quiet in here first thing, isn't it? Okay. I'm going to be really quick so we can get to the good stuff, but I want to remind you, you're at the spiritual gym, which means this is kind of like a workout. So you can be distracted and like be focusing on what you're having for lunch. You can do all these other things, but you won't have a good workout. And that's what you're here for. So my encouragement for you is just to take a deep breath, settle yourself here, engage in what's going on, and let it sit in you, let it affect you in the way it needs to today. But you can't do that unless you're here, unless you're engaged, unless you're focused. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up today. This is your journey. Make it the most, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm awake now. There we go. That's all it took. Sorry, I just have to do a quick retune. He does. It's a universal truth generally that Joe's guitar needs tuning. But man, what a beautiful morning. What a great way for many of us is spring break. If you have kids or are attached to the Calgary Board of Education at least, it certainly feels like spring break, which is pretty rare for us here in Calgary. We've got one more song right now and then another one later. This next one I've been listening to a lot lately. I was really thankful when Bryce mentioned this one and brought it to our attention, and I think it's just such an important thing to keep in mind about things that we all need, like this sense of somebody or a group of people that you can just sort of like, you don't have to talk about anything, you don't have to, get into the deep stuff, but it's just okay to just be with and be, silent with and be quiet with and enjoy just existence.
Quiet, you create.
Thanks, you guys. Okay, I have official announcements to make today. So I'm going to have Ashley and Ocean come up. Probably 2020, 2021, we're in the height of COVID. If you're a church during COVID, every 5 minutes they're changing how many people can show up, who can show up, what the meeting can look like. Do you guys remember how much of a gong show that was? I met Ashley during that portion. This is Ashley, this is Ocean. Come on up right over here.
Right here.
The cameras want to be able to see you. Do you remember, I remember you, we were outside, we still had the queue where we had to sign everybody in, and you were actually recruiting people to volunteer, and I was like, oh, I want to work with her. At the time, Ashley was working, she started volunteering down with our kids. She calls them the kiddos. In fact, we all call them the kiddos now. During that time, I remember you having two amazing qualities. First, you care deeply about kids, and you are infinitely creative. You could adapt to any changing situation. You're just like, okay, we're changing again.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Over years, it's been incredible. The kids program has been incredible. You can hear them downstairs making noise. I love when they make noise. I think that's the coolest. Through that whole time, Ashley was running the show. Now, in the last year, she had a new addition to her family. This is Ocean. Ocean's super chill. Kids don't really like me very much. If she starts crying, that's not on me. And you started your own business. You started a wellness center. It changed its name, and I don't remember the new name. Can you remind me? Within.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but starting a new business and having a newborn is a lot. So halfway through her mat leave, I reached out and said, hey, Ash, how are you doing? And she's like, I think I can do it. And then she said, no, I need to focus. So today, on behalf of all the kids, we got a few of them up in the back that want to celebrate you. On behalf of all of our community who you've impacted, I just want us all to say a huge thank you to Ashley. Can we? Big round of applause. Now, Ashley being Ashley, she wouldn't just leave and leave us in a lurch. She recruited somebody. So she's been training her replacement. Can I get Carly up here? Is her coming up too? Okay, we're having a whole party up here. Nice. So 6 months ago, Carly, who's been part of our community for as long as I can remember, almost 12 years. I remember marrying you and your husband the other day, but that was like a couple days ago, right? The other day, 9 years ago. This is Carly, that's Ezra. How's it going, buddy? Normally you're super loud and this is just too much, isn't it? So when Ashley went on mat leave, Carly stepped in. She's been doing an incredible job. There's one skill that they both have that I think is the most beautiful skill, outside of you guys know how to have fun with kids. If you walk down there and you see a kid who's a bit shy, these two can win them over. It's an incredible skill that they both have. Kids just walk in, they're like, I'm a little shy. Next minute, they're in there playing. So officially, as of today, we're saying thank you to Ashley for all that she's done. She's going down to a volunteer capacity. She'll be here once a month. And Carly's officially taking over as our permanent kids pastor. Let's give her a round of applause, too. Woo! Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. Now, here's the thing. If you're thinking, we have kids, but I'm not sure if I should trust them with people, you now have a face of a trustworthy person. If somebody asks you, hey, I heard you go to church, do they have anything for kids? You officially know. We have a group for kids. They're downstairs underneath us currently, and Carly is our leader. And if again, we look at this world through this lens of taking water, if that's something you want to do, if you want to impact kiddos' lives, if you want to help them find a spirituality that is unique to them, that they will not have to deconstruct when they're our age, go downstairs, talk to Carly, and be a part of it, okay? Thanks, you guys. I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.
Good morning. Not only do we have amazing kids stuff happening, Vince and I are wearing matching shoes today. I don't know if you guys can see that, but look at that. We both be either very cool or or not, but we'll leave that determination for later. We have awesome stuff happening for our youth as well as our kids. So we have a fantastic crew that works with kids, and we also have some really cool stuff happening as they sort of age through their journey here. So our Switch group is our youth group that we have, and we have a bunch of Switch and parents and adults actually leaving for Mexico today to go and build a double-wide home, I believe, is what they're doing down there. So they are going to provide a safe, secure place for a family down in Mexico. So they are off today. They're back on the 30th, and while they're gone, you can kind of check up on what they're up to and see some of their progress and their highlights. If you go to our website and click on the Mexico area there, you'll be able to access their updates. And I think they're also going to be posting on Instagram, but you can check it all out right through the website. So they're doing some very cool stuff down there. The rest of the Switch crew that's here, if you haven't already, if you are in the building and you did not buy bake sale items on your way in, you better hope there's still some when you leave. So the rest of our Switch crew that's still here in Calgary is hosting a bake sale today, and they're raising money for an organization called Fear is Not Love. So awesome stuff happening with our youth right now as well. My name's Emily. I'm actually part of the charitable giving team here. So really what my main job is to stand up here and talk to you about money. So even though I just got to tell you what we're doing that's a whole lot of fun and some great goodies and some neat stuff happening, I also want to let you know a bit about our financial state at the moment. So we know that things are chaotic, that there's lots of uncertainty out there right now. Economic times are what they are, and we are feeling it the same way as all of you in your jobs, and just sort of that general uncertainty happening. We have a good core group of people that give in what we call a pre-authorized giving, which is every month there is an amount that is given on schedule. It really helps us plan and prepare and budget well. And our pre-authorized giving right at the moment is down about $1,000 a month over what we had anticipated for this year, what we thought we were going to be able to plan with. We know that you need to do what you need to do, and we understand the uncertainty that's out there. But if you are in a position where you do have the ability to increase your pre-authorized giving or start one if you haven't already been doing that, we would love for you to consider that. Friends Church is funded entirely by the people who are here, who believe in what we do, and we want to just invite you to join us to do that. So we're doing okay. We adapt our expenses to fit with our income. We have a great team that really takes care of that and watches where we're at. But I do wanted to let you know and be very honest and transparent about our finances. So if you were in a position to help, we would love for you to consider that pre-authorized giving with us. Thank you.
And I'll just say, they're already gone. But as a parent, I've talked a lot about how grateful I am to have this opportunity here to come up every few weeks and play music, which is not something that my busy life these days would normally let me get to do. And I don't have to plan and organize and set up sound or any of that. I just have to show up and play music with some awesome musicians. But if it weren't for the kids program, this would be so much harder for me to fit in. It just takes so much off of my mental load to just know that my kids are down there having the time of their lives. They love it. And I get to be up here doing this, even on days when my wife's not here. She's actually on her way to Mexico with the Switch group right now. And, I would love to be able to say thank you again. If they were still here, I'll say thank you when we're back downstairs. But on behalf of all the parents or anyone with young kids in their lives that make use of that service, really, really thank you to that ability to have. Yeah, we can have another woo. Thank you. Yes. Okay. We have one more today. This is one of I think is my favorite. It's one of our favorite songs to play. And I think it speaks for itself, and I know Vince was happy to hear. And it's got a mild. I can bleep it if you want.
I got me a shovel, and I'm digging a ditch, and I'm gonna fight for this force where freedom land like
we're not dead yet. It's just a knot in the small of your back. You can work it out with your fingers. It's just a tune that gets stuck in your head. You can work it out with your fingers. It's just some fingers tangled up in your songs. You can work it out with your fingers. It's just a simple prayer missing from the person you miss. A reminder you could always be a little bit better today. So try and get better and don't ever accept that. So you're playing like markers on your chest. Draw a line underneath all the sun's happiness. Come on, let's fix this mess. We can get better, 'cause we're not dead yet. We can get better, 'cause we're not dead yet.
We can get better. I'm going to get you to, Esmond, I'm going to get you to put up a different slide. Can you show the spiritual journey slide with the circles on it for me? See the top of this model? Making the world a better place, taking water so we make the world a better place. We can get better. We're just not there yet. It's this idea of spirituality that says spirituality is not just about me. There's more. How I am in the world, how you are in the world, makes the world a better place if we choose. That's what we're trying to do here. If you're new to Friend Church and you're like, whoa, I thought I came here just for me. I don't care about anyone else. It's okay. We'll let you think that for a while. We'll get you there. Okay, you can take that down, Esmond. We've been doing this work to find a way of finding inner health so that we can make the world better. This idea that says we can get better, that's all fine and good. But how the heck do you do it? How do you do the work so that your inner life isn't hijacked, so you can actually go up that model into we and start connecting with people in your life, the people who are close to you, the people who are your neighbors? That guy who would not let me into traffic on Friday, who like just about killed 3 people to make sure I couldn't merge in. Yeah, even that guy. And then, further, take water to someone you will never maybe even meet. Like the Mexico team, going down to Mexico and saying, hey, you don't have a house with a door that can close and lock. Your kids can't even get an education because your school books get stolen. That's taking water. That's what we're trying to do through this series. But to do it, we have to address the hijack. The thing that forces, this is the wrong word, Clausen. The thing that pushes us down that model into, but what about me? I have a pop quiz for y'all today. You ready for a pop quiz? Okay, can you throw up the picture for me, Esmond? What? How y'all feeling? I can't even look or it gets me all. Okay, put it down for a second so I can think again. And they can think. Just turn it off for a second. Anyone have parts that got a little flared? Just put up your hand. Anyone say that's not a part? I flared. The whole thing, all of me is flared. This isn't a political statement that I'm doing. What I'm trying to do is say, how are you at identifying the parts of you that get freaked out by the world around you? That get hijacked. I can still feel it right here. A friend of mine, he's like, oh, did you see that Oval Office thing? Yeah, I did. And then he started to talk, and I was like, you know what? I can tell you I heard 3 things. You didn't say thank you. You didn't say thank you. You didn't say thank you. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that's what the parts of me said when I saw that. Can you throw it back up again, Esmond? What parts show up for you when you see that? When I was in grade 9, I was bullied, like many of us. Mine wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. I still remember walking down the staircase in my high school, turning to go to my class and realizing my bullies and all of his friends have lined the hallway. And I have to go through them. In the sense of powerlessness, I could not stop them. That part, that bully part, that part of me that hates powerlessness, that just frickin' hates it, and is right back to that grade 9 little kid with big ass hair. He showed up to watch that interview. And all the parts that I've used to protect myself from that feeling of I do not want to feel powerless. I do not want to feel powerless. I don't want to feel that again. They told me, those parts told me what I should pay attention to. When my friend said, "Did you watch the whole interview?" Dude, I could have watched 16 hours of that crap. My protectors are just saying, "Thank you, say thank you." They didn't say thank you. He's being bullied. This can't happen. You have to stop this. This does not work. Folks, I was not there. I was not dressed in a black shirt, although I normally would be dressed in a black shirt. You guys, let's be honest. I was not dressed in that black shirt, sitting in that Oval Office, having a conversation with those two people. But my parts reacted like I was. Anyone feel the hijack? Have you ever noticed? Let's take that down. I got to think again. It's too much. Okay, everyone, shake it off. It's like, when the deer gets you smoked by the car, you got to shake it off. Just like shake off the bad energy. Have you ever noticed that there's certain things in your world that bother you and certain things that don't? If someone says to me, "Vince, you're really short," it's like, yeah, that's nice. But they say, "Vince, you're fat," and I'm like, why is it that my height doesn't bother me, but my weight does? Why is it that a story that my brain interprets as bullying freaks me out? But the other day, my wife got angry at me, and I literally have to say to myself, "Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh." Because I love anger. It's so much fun. My wife's like, and I'm like, "That's all you got, babe?" She's like, "Dude, I will end you." Why is it that bullying bothers me, anger doesn't? What things threaten to hijack you? Do you know? When that person doesn't invite you to that party, is it like, when the person does that thing but doesn't do this other thing, for whatever reason, that thing that they missed out on, whether it's an invitation, whether it's a kind word, whether it's a hug, whatever it is, you miss out on that thing, and suddenly it's like, do you know the parts of you that get triggered? And what freaks them out? Bullying? Oh, I don't like that one at all. If you want nuanced advice, if you're potentially being bullied, don't come talk to me. Because I will tell you to drop a nuclear bomb on that person. And then drop another one just in case. There's a story from our tradition that speaks to this. No, it's not that it speaks to this. It speaks to the ramifications of this unrealized. It speaks to the ramifications of the hijack. We think it's benign. Oh, I got a little upset. Oh, this happened. There's two brothers. This is from the primeval history portion of the Bible, which means it's never, the genre most likely is not intended to be taken literally at all. It's not historical in the way that things actually happened. It's stories that say, this is why we are where we are. That seems to be the genre. And there's two brothers, Cain, Abel. They conceive of a conception of God that says this: if God likes me, my life will be good. If God doesn't like me, my life will be bad. Again, different conception than what maybe you grew up with, but this is very much part of our tradition in the oldest stories. Piss off God, your life will be hell. So most of their religious tradition is about how do we make sure God is happy? It's again their conception, right? And so what they do is, him and his brother both go, I'm going to give God a gift to make my conception of God happy. So my life will be good. Here's what happens. They both give their best gift. The character God in the story looks at Abel's gift and says, now that's a solid gift. Thank you. I like you. And looks at Cain's gift and says, what is this? These stories aren't meant to be historical, I think. They're meant to be our story. So here's what I want you to do. Put yourself in the story. You and your frenemy. You and that person in your life that you feel like, ooh, I don't know if I like them very much. The colleague, the brother or sister. It happens. Your kid. That happens too. You give your best to whatever, they give their best to whatever, and everyone gives them accolades and says, what they did, incredible. And then they look at what you did and they go, what is this? What part shows up for you when you hear that story? For me, the part that watches for neglect shows up. I give and I give and I give, and it's never enough. Maybe the part shows up for you of, it says that the character God turned away from Cain. Don't put up your hand, but anyone feel this sense of abandonment? Like, I'm not being seen. I didn't do it right now. No one will love me. Hold that story, kind of your trigger in your head, because this is part of the parts work. You both give something, you and someone else. Theirs is seen as amazing, yours is seen as garbage. How do you react? The story says that Cain was angry. No shit. I'd be pretty angry too. But then the character God says this line that I think, when I look at it through the series that we're doing right now, it says something that we cannot just pass by. The character God says this: Cain, there's a part of you that's sitting just outside that wants to destroy you and destroy the world around you. That's the hijack. If you give it control, it will destroy everything. Your work is to control the hijack. But I'm angry. But I'm upset. But those people are bad people, right? We have all these excuses why I don't have to worry about the hijack. But the character God says, no. This is the moment right here. What are you going to do? Cain says, actually he doesn't say. The story ends with Cain killing his brother out of anger. After that, Cain is marked as cursed. One reading of the story. Him his offspring, their offspring, cursed. I think the moral or a moral of this story is this: beware the hijack. You think it's no big deal. It'll destroy your life. It'll destroy the world around you. We've been looking at this whole thing through this metaphor of parts. The character God says to Cain, there's a part of you that's sitting outside of you that's trying to take over. It's trying to hijack you. Do you guys remember a couple weeks ago, Lori came up and told her story? She was 5 years old. She had a friend who was, it's like their houses they were basically family. They weren't family. It was like her best friend. She's like, the doors weren't even locked between our houses. We used to spend every day together. It was just like sleepover and supper time and whatever. She's like, she was as close to me as another human being can be. And then when I was 5, she moved away and I never saw her again. What part shows up for you when you hear that story? For Lori, a part of her, maybe I would say broke. It felt this level of abandonment that was so deep and so painful that another part of her swore, I will never let another human being get close to me and risk them leaving. Your parts might not do the same thing. This is what her parts did. You see, the idea is this. Things have happened through our lives that were painful, that hurt us deeply. And those parts got stuck in us. And instead of healing them, what we did is we kind of shoved them in the back corner of our lives. The technical term is we exiled them. The bully part of me, oh yeah, he has a closet. I keep the door locked at all times until he bursts out, in moments and just like totally destroys everything. Do you know the exiles from your past? Esmond, can you throw up the list for me? Just leave it up for a bit. This is a way of looking at parts that we don't want to deal with. We stick them in the back corner of our minds. Neglected parts, embarrassed parts, grief-stricken parts. I told you guys my dad was really sick growing up. Almost died a few times. The amount of sadness in my family. I freaking hate sadness. Like, hate it. It's stuck so deep there in my whatever. We were watching Yellowstone the other day. They played a country song. Do you know how sad country songs sound? Like, seriously, can you not do a happy country song? The song comes on, I'm like, la, 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 la. Is it over yet? I freaking hate, that exile is stuck way back there. And whatever hits it, it's like Cain, right? That needs to stop. Do you know your exile parts? Lori was able to pinpoint it and showed how different parts of her life, it took over and run her life. Anything to avoid that exile part. And so what we do is we create another layer of parts, protector parts. Jeff told us a story. He comes home to his grandfather, and again, if you know Jeff, relationships matter to him. And his family, how his grandfather and how his father looked at him, it meant a ton to him. And he brings home his report card and shows it to his grandfather. And he says, his grandfather went from looking at him like, you're my favorite person in the world, to like, what is this? Jeff said, my little brain swore in that moment, I never want to feel that feeling again. I never wanted to have another human being look at me that way again. like I'm not worth getting to know, I'm not worth loving, I'm not worth caring about, I'm not worth being in a relationship with. And so Jeff got a section of parts. That's his exile, right? Create a section of parts, works hard. He's charming. You know how charming Jeff is? Frick, that guy's charming. Sometimes I walk in a room and I'm like, oh my goodness, do not use your superpower like that. It's not even fair. Part of it's healthy, part of it is so that I never feel the feeling of someone looking away from me. Esmond, can you throw up the list of protector parts for me? These are the things that we employ internally to never feel the feelings of the exile. When I looked at the Oval Office, I'm not going to put it up because it's going to freak me out. When I looked at the Oval Office picture, that bully part came out, right? Powerlessness. I hate that feeling. What was my protector? Anger. Name calling. Belittling. Those voices, my brain's not like, hey, let's should think about this. It's like, we need to attack. Look through the list. Any of those things in your mind? Procrastinator, that's a good one. Self-sacrificing, another good one. Fixer, that can't be a protector, can it? Yeah. Social butterfly, workaholic, hypervigilant. Are you starting to see the parts inside of you? Cain, his protector was anger. Destroy whatever makes me feel bad. And he did. And he paid the price. See, that's the wisdom, I think, of our tradition. It says, living in here, letting this hijack us and run our lives, that has a cost. And the cost at first level is just me. Yeah, it wrecks my life. But it has a cost to the people around us, doesn't it? I remember in my first marriage, you all know I have a sad exile. He does not like to feel sad. I can see him. Like he's just a little kid, big hair, hates sadness. I come home one day, my wife, at the time, my ex-wife, was watching Oprah. Could anyone have more sad interviews in the history of a TV show? And she wants to share with me this episode that was really meaningful to her, but it's about sadness. What do you think I did? Any guesses? That would have been a good one. I actually went for full-on attack. I went, I don't ever want you to talk to me about this stuff ever again. When I come home, I don't want to hear about this shit. I'm divorced. Protector parts, they run your life super good. You want to have a good life? Let them take over. Last week I interviewed Dana, my former counselor. I'm supposed to say former counselor. You can take that down, Esmond. Dana was walking down the street. She's got a little dog. I can't remember the dog's name, Margaret or something like that. It's this puny little dog. All she hears this blood-curdling scream. She's like, whoa, what just, who got killed? Realizes it's a little boy and a mom. The mom jumps out of the car and says, get your damn dog under control. Actually, I think it was the F-bomb. You're walking, you're like, dog. Someone screams, it's on a leash. You're on the sidewalk. Anyone protector parts would have reacted to that one? Oh, I would have been on like Donkey Kong, man. I would have been like, what the? Dana said there was a moment. She could feel all these parts coming up. the parts that felt judged, the parts that felt she'd done something wrong. And then all her protector parts came in and was like, oh yeah, anger. I loved it. It's like, yeah, sister. And she says, just as I was about to let that part hijack me and pull a cane, I looked into the mother's eyes and I saw a human, a mother, protecting her kid. And a part of me showed up. In internal family systems, which is what we're basing this series on, they call it the true self. This is the part that can see your protectors. It can heal your exiles. It's the part that ultimately we want to get to. We want this part running our lives. When the character God is talking to Cain, he's talking to a part of him that can see. It can see what's going on inside of him. It can see that. How much of that part of your life is running your life? If you wonder which part is your true self, can you throw up the list for me, Esmond? If you feel these things, chances are this is your true self. Can you throw up there's a list of 8 C's, please. There we go. Compassion, curiosity, clarity, calm. If your parts are setting a boundary in your life, this is what it looks like. Don't you ever pull that S with me, you son of a bitch. That's a protector part, setting a boundary. This is what your true self looks like when they're in calm. You know what? If that's going to be part of this conversation, I can't be a part of this. But you know what? If that would be left aside, I'd love to continue this conversation. How much of that kind of dialogue are you seeing in our world right now? How much of your true self are you seeing in your life right now? We do this work so our true self can see our protectors, not let them run our lives and destroy everything around us. Heal our exiles so that we can be and we can take water. Just sit with that for a second. What would it look like if that ran your life? If that ran your relationships? I don't know about you, but my first thought is, yeah, it seems nice, Vince, but how the hell am I supposed to do that? The reason I've changed all this and I brought in IFS is for this reason. So we could learn to rebalance ourselves so that we can be in we, so that we can take water. So we're not stuck in the hijack at the bottom all the time. Because I don't know about you, but I can feel the Cain in me. When I'm triggered, when my protectors take over, when my exile freaks out, I destroy. Or maybe you're the other side. You turn off. Your brain gets all fuzzy. Feels like you pull it out of your body. Like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. The hijack hurts us and hurts the world around us. So how do you fix it? The Bible story told you not to do it, but they didn't really give us a whole lot of how to. It's kind of the classic. So here's what you do. First thing, you've already done it today. You started to talk about things in parts. Can you throw up the Oval Office picture for me again? There's a part of you that is probably a little bit triggered by this. There's a part of you that's putting yourself right in the middle of this. You might be on Zelensky, you might be on the other guy's side. Doesn't matter. This isn't a political statement. By saying there's a part of me that's reacting, you're saying there's another part of me that's seeing the part. Try this week. You can take it down, Esmond. Instead of saying I'm angry, say a part of me is angry. Instead of saying, I'm frustrated, there's a part of me that's frustrated. A part of me that's sad. Just try it in your head. Just say, a part of me is upset by that picture. Can you feel the difference in how you react to it? What you're doing is you're taking your true self and letting it talk to a part. So you guys already did it. Well done. Can you feel the difference? A part of me is triggered. A part of me is sad. A part of me is angry. A part of me wants to talk about this. A part of me doesn't. A part of me wants cake. A part of me wants to work out. A part of me is stuck in a basement of my mind someplace. And a part of me is here in this room with you. True self, parts. If you've been able to do that, you can go another step further. As the protectors come up, you can see them for what they are. My protectors don't want me to feel bullied. I armored myself against those. You probably armored yourself against a bunch of stuff. That's why you work hard. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you disassociate. That's why you, whatever, act out. The addicts in the room, you guys do more work on this stuff and are better skilled at this stuff than most of us. You've seen that there's a part of you that doesn't want to take you to a good place. When you see that protector part come in, here's what you do. You don't tell it to shut up. You don't push it in a corner. You see what it's trying to protect you against. Mine is trying to protect me against helplessness. And you say thank you. Can you throw up the list of protectors again, the really long list? If you can, go through the list, pick one that resonates with you, that you have, that speaks in your ear. Try this. Just say to it, thank you for trying to protect me. What happens to that voice? Does it get quieter? Get calmer? We thank our protectors because they're trying to protect us from feeling those feelings of the exile. Now, if you're ninja level, or if you're working with an expert, you can go and find those exiles. My sad little guy, he's laying on a carpet. The door's closed to the bathroom. My mom's in the bathroom. And I'm laying there waiting for her. And I can feel his sadness. When I sit with him, something shifts in him. His voice isn't as loud as it was before. The protectors get quieter. Suddenly when sadness shows up, my wife says something sad to me. I go, oh, babe, that's so sad. Not, don't ever say something sad to me again. Can you see what happens as you do this work? If the hijack is the thing that our spiritual tradition says we need to avoid at all costs because it will destroy us, it will destroy the world around us, this is a way to do it. But it's one step further. Did you notice, can I just ask, did anyone else feel bullying energy off that picture? Do you just mind putting up your hand? Anyone else got that? Can I just make a comment? We weren't there. In fact, I don't even live in the same country as where that took place. That happened a couple weeks ago. IFS tells us one last thing that I want to leave you with. What you can't experience inside, you can't experience outside. The reason we heal our wounds, the reason we heal our exiles is because when they show up around us, if we haven't done the work to deal with them inside, we can't deal with them outside. If your kid shows up in a way that triggers your exile, you will not handle that well, most likely. If you're partnered, when your partner shows up with whatever emotion, whatever exile, whatever stuff you haven't dealt with, you will not deal with that well. People will say to me, I got to stop blowing up my partner. I got to stop, blowing up my colleagues at work. The answer is not to apply more willpower. The answer is to realize that sadness not dealt with inside can't deal with sadness outside. When we heal our wounds, we don't send pain and suffering into the world. Do you see how healing our stuff actually heals the world? Regulation, the ability to stay out of the hijack, is a way we take water to the world. Because the person who cuts me off in traffic, I just give them a wave. My wife comes to me with sadness. I can give her a hug and feel sad with her. When my brother does that thing that he did since we were like 2 years old, drives me frickin' bananas, I can just be like, it's not a big deal. You want to make the world a better place? That's what our spiritual journey, if you've bought into that friend church model, this is an incredibly powerful way to do it. But I'm telling you, if IFS is right, what you haven't handled inside of you, what you haven't healed, you will not be able to deal with outside. Start by saying, there's a part of me. See the parts that are reacting. And before they go to Cain, say thank you. And if you're ready, find the parts inside of you that are wounded and start to befriend them so that you can become a water carrier. By the way, it'll also help your life, but that's a side point. Folks, we're here to inspire you to take water. This work is not easy, but it changes us and it changes the world around us. Amen? Have a great week, everyone. See you next week.
And the spirit of David and the cracks of the walls and the schemes that we're all running. We're exposed to the rain coming down from the clouds and the fire that falls from heaven. But our tragedy binds while our ignorance hides. We all wind up here together. Yeah, our bodies are tied and our souls, they're blind, bones broken by the weather.
Got a lot of bad days still coming our way, but it's free ever after. Wind and waves breaking over our walls, but the ship, it don't shatter. The real life lesson about a life well lived is you lose what don't matter. But the sun's coming up on the stairway to heaven, and it's sweet ever after. And it's sweet ever after. Woke up terrified in the middle of the night to a storm, our whole house was shaking. Didn't know where to hide, the wind howling outside sounded like everything was breaking. Well, our tears fell like rain when the morning light came in the wake of that disaster. Brick and stone in the street, shattered glass in our feet, home splintered by the weather. Got a lot of bad days still coming our way, but it's sweet ever after. Wind and waves breaking over our walls, but the ship, it don't shatter. The real life lesson about a life well lived is you lose what don't matter. The sun's coming up on the stairway to heaven, and it's sweet
pocket so that every day you're with me. I keep you close to my heart.